To my beautiful and amazing royals of Africa, welcome to part 3 of Introduction to Bwiti. So we are going to continue Nima Braddock Njogo's interview. Okay, breathtaking interview. Two things I would like to bring your attention to. Remember, your sister said that her mother had a mission. Okay, she was supposed to be a Nima, a Bwiti healer, but she chose to go to France and have a life in France instead. All right. So, and your sister tell you she lost her mom. She was only 11 years old, right? So she clearly prematurely lost her mom. For those involved in the community, in the spiritual community, they know what happened there. When somebody has a mission, when you have a God-given mission by your ancestor and stuff, you have to carry out that mission. You have to do everything within your power to stay on your path and carry out your mission. When you don't, you lose your divine protection. You somehow lose your protection. That's what happened. At that point, you're vulnerable. Anything can bring you down. And the contrary of it is true as well. When you see somebody on their path accomplishing their mission and you gang up against them and you wage war, that's a death wish. Let me just put it this way. Because as you heard your sister, spirits are behind our missions. So when you come and play in our energy, even before we become aware of what you're doing, they're already dealing with you. Now, if they're on their path and little fools want to mess with them, the divine himself and all her spiritual team will make sure you are no longer counted among the living before long. I hear a lot of our tarot readers, our kids who are in the spiritual community, they always talk about people trying to knock them off their path. So as a queen, I have to warn the jealous ones, the envious ones. Many of you lives are upside down. It's because you went against the wrong person. You thought you could humble somebody who has been mandated. Leave people alone. That's what I wanted to emphasize. Now, let's go back to our beautiful daughter, Nima Braddock Njogo.
I'm Audrey and welcome to Ngningone II. So this is our village where Bwiti is our life. So I'm going to show you around. Come. So this is the main house. And then we've got one kitchen over here. This is my mom's grave. This is where my mom is buried. This is my mother's grave. So she passed away in France, but her last wish was to be buried in the village where she was born. So the village was nothing. Most people had left, And after my dad brought her back after her death to be buried here, then that started reviving the village and people started coming back. And now we have a full village that is back like what it was like when my mom was alive. So I'll show you more, come. This is our second kitchen. And we're just in the forest, in the middle, in the north of Gabon, in like near Meduna. So this is a region where Fang is practiced, our branch of Bwiti. So this is our old temple, but we've built a new temple because this one was too small. And so now this has become what we call the Bwenze, or it's somewhere where we do spiritual talks, consultations, consult with the spirits and so on. It's a very spiritual space, and you can see we've got iboga growing everywhere around the village. We've got beautiful plants. Maybe this one is maybe 2 years old. We've got it everywhere. We have this iboga. There we go. Some nice seeds. Gonna try and bring it back and plant it in Europe. See what happens. So all of this is iboga. And I'll show you the temple now. I think it's closed. It's closed now, but we'll open it for the ceremony. So over there is where we do the ceremonies. And we have one big ceremony this Friday. And the seeds. So yeah, we're gonna do a ceremony there this weekend. So it's closed now, but we'll open it. And this is my pride and joy, my little iboga plantation. So we have 200. We have 200 baby iboga trees growing here. We've counted them. So all of these, they've been here for about a year now. So iboga takes, for it to be strong, it needs to be 10 years at least. But these are about 2 years. So we have 200 of them, you can see everywhere. So all of this, some of them are a bit bigger, like this little tree there. So yeah, it takes a lot of work because we have to clear land. This beautiful tree, it's 1 year old. So you can start using it when it's about 5 years. So when it's 5 years, there's some alkaloid in there already. You can use it, but it's not as strong. So if you want strong iboga, you have to wait 10 years. But this is a long-term project. So this one is 1 year old, and then we're gonna start clearing some land and plant more as well. But it takes a lot of work because we have to clear land, get the weeds out, protect the space. Obviously there's elephants that can come, but they leave this alone so far, so fingers crossed. And yeah, you can see all of the little trees popping out there, so this is going really well. Maybe next year you'll see, all like the little trees earlier, you'll see little trees like that all over. So yeah, this is what we do here. I'm Audrey and welcome to Canon in Time.
And I think that's why it's very important to capture this knowledge from someone like you and really put it on record, as well as to, keep it shared, just because it's like you said, it's not easy to trace history of some of these traditions. So I think that's why I knew I wanted to have you here on this channel.
Yeah, it's an oral tradition, meaning that it's only recently that you find research studies done on it, and mostly by Westerners who have respect for the tradition, find it very interesting and are trying to do research, but it's all based on oral, anecdotal. So there is it's passed down from generation to generation, and I believe it's passed down through genetics as well. And that's why lineage is so important. And this is why, for example, even though I pushed my Gabonese side and I had no connection to Gabon, there was something in me.
With you.
Exactly, something in me that was calling me, remind me. So now that I'm doing this work, it's almost like I remember it. It's not even like my aunt teaches me, because obviously you have to be taught, but a lot of it is remembrance. So it's in me already. And that's why this work is always done with lineage, and it gets passed down and passed down. We don't write it down. And also it's a way to protect it, because only the people who have a true connection to the lineage can really practice it in the right way. And there's many imposters and many people who try and come and pay a lot of money to learn about it and things like that. But that's not the true ways. It has to be done through the lineage.
So there is a right way to do it. There's a right way to practice the tradition.
Yes.
And that's what I really want to be able to capture and delve into. So is Bwiti considered a religion? Is it considered a way of life?
We say it's a way of life. It's a tradition. So it's not even a religion. It's because within Bwiti there is many branches, and each branch practices Bwiti in their own way. And then within those branches, there's sub branches. Each sub branches practices Bwiti in their own way. And even within the sub branches, there's then villages and families, and each of them also have their own way of holding ceremonies and healing people and working with the plants. So it's not it's not a religion, it's not a tribe, it's a tradition. Bwiti is more like the umbrella concept of it. But yeah, we see it like a way of life and a tradition. That's the best way that you can.
Best way to, it's the Bwiti tradition.
Yes, it's the Bwiti tradition. Definitely not a tribe. A lot of people say it's a tribe, but it's not. It's not a tribe. There's many different tribes in Gabon, and the tribes have nothing to do with the. Well, it's not a tribe. It's a tradition and a way of life.
And what are the core teachings of this tradition? How does it shape the lives of its practitioners?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
What are the core beliefs in the Bwiti tradition, and how does it shape the lives of the practitioners?
So Bwiti is an animist tradition. So animism is a shamanic culture, all shamanic cultures are animist cultures. And for us, we see everything as spiritual. So everything happens in the spirit world, and then it manifests in this 3D reality physical world, So all our work is done in the spirit world, and we see everything as having a spirit. So everything like, objects, animals, plants, even some rocks is a spirit as well, will have a spirit, And then once you enter the spirit world, you can see that, you can see that everything around you is spirit, and everything happens in the spirit world. And then your 3D physical life can be okay. So if you're not in good terms with the spirit world, this is where things start being in misalignment and going wrong in your life. So most people don't realize this. So they're living very sick lives. They unwell, they mentally unwell, depressed. Things are going wrong in their lives. Their relationships are wrong, and it's because they're not paying attention to the spirit world. So this is why we do so many ceremonies, because when we do ceremonies, that's where we connect with our ancestors, with the spirit world. And then we can include them and ask them for help. All our spirits, our ancestors, because they're there. They're always around us. The spirit, the plant spirits, even the spirit of Iboga can help if you just ask it for help. But there is a way to do it in a respectful way, and that's through ceremony. So that's...
When you say animism, you mean that there is a spirit in everything. That's what it means.
Yes, animism is like it's also like it's a tradition where you see spirit in everything.
So you mentioned this a bit, that there are different branches of the tradition of Bwiti. How do the practices differ? Maybe you can mention a few.
So I'm familiar with my tradition is Feng, and then my sub branch is Djembe Kongi. So this is the one that we practice and that I know. So the other branches I know from just speaking to people and reading about it, but I don't know personally. I've not been initiated in any other, so I can't speak as a knowledgeable person on these traditions, but I can give you some brief differences. So the main ones are Feng, which is my branch, Mitsoko, Disumba. So these, you would say, are the main three branches, and Disumba and Mitsoko are very masculine, and then they have sub branches that are feminine. So in Feng, for example, we mix men and women together during ceremony. There's no separation. They will do the same rites. They will be initiated together and go through the same processes. In Mitsoko, for example, the men, women are separated and they each do their own rites, and there's different things that they have to do. Disumba is the oldest branch. Well, there's again debate because it's oral, So some will say Disumba is the oldest, but then some say Mitsoko is older, and then But from what I understand, and the general agreement is that Disumba is older, and then from Disumba came out Mitsoko, and then came out Feng, etc., and all the sub branches. And Mitsoko, Feng is like one of the main difference between Feng and Mitsoko, for example, is Feng is about receiving. So when you get initiated in the Feng tradition, there isn't so much doing. So you will be an initiation. There will be a lot of taking plants and getting cleansed spiritually, mentally with plants, plant medicine, different drinks made out of plant and things you have to rub on your body and this is all to cleanse you, to be able to eat the iboga and be as clean as possible to enter the spirit world. And during the initiation, you're just laying down there because you will be given a big dose of iboga where you can't really do anything. You just lay there. Sometimes your spirit goes to the spirit world and you can't even use your body. Mitsoko, on the other hand, is more about doing. During initiations, they will be made to do many things. The initiates will have to stand up and do certain things, and it's more of a mind training. It's like more of a warrior, to get men to become strong and be able to control their mind, etc. So there's many things they have to do. So it's about doing. As in Fang is more about receiving, connecting with the spirits, and receiving that wisdom, knowledge, or whatever that you're getting initiated for. Disumba and Mitsoko are more. Some people say they're more authentic because they kept the traditional ways more. All of the branches are also authentic. They doing it traditionally, but what happened is when the missionaries came to Gabon to convert everyone
to Christianity,
they were trying to turn people away from Bwiti, because they saw it as witchcraft and not good. And so many people in Gabon see what we do as witchcraft. And, so many people, because they have been conditioned to think that, but many Bwiti temples resisted. So the Mitsoko completely cut away. Mitsoko, Disumba, those branches completely cut away, managed to continue on practicing Bwiti by staying away as much as possible from the missionaries. And then us, the Feng, we came from the Disumba, but what we did is a way to adapt to the pressures from the missionaries. What we did is we adopted some elements of Christianity.
Okay.
So in our branch, you will see some elements of Christianity. So it's not a religious thing, but you may see, like, in the clothes, there may be crosses and things like that. And then we'll pray to some Christian deities, like some of the angels or Jesus Christ, Mother Mary, etc. But the way I see it is there's truth in every religion, in every spirituality. And what we did is, instead of just pushing that away, we saw, okay, what is the truth in this? Because it is, the way we see it is, for us, Jesus Christ, Mother Mary is just like our ancestors, they're just like ancestors, they're spirits as well that can help you and guide you. So why reject that just because it comes from a missionary? So we adapted to those pressures by adopting some of this. So that, for us, that was a way to adapt and to resist to them wiping our culture.
An information I would like to add to what our beautiful daughter said is the Fang. We went down that dance with them because of who we are, because of we've been knowing, because of who we are descendant of. The Fang, we came from Mama said, Mama Ngningone. Her name is Mama Ngningone, the one the Christian call Mary. The Fang know her as Ngningone. Mama Aset is the mother of all sub-Saharan African tribes. We started there. And in that holy house, our father is Amanasia, the one they call Manasseh, son of Joseph in their Bible. So when they came and danced that dance with us, we're like, okay, we will integrate your scent into our spirituality, knowing what we're doing. So whether when you come to Gabon, Mama Aset is referred as Ningon, all the girls around, when you say Ningon, in the spirit world, you're calling Aset. Or those of us, our parents name Marie or Mary, same thing. You're calling that name, you're calling Aset, the Queen of Queens. Even if you go to Muslim country, let's say our people in West Africa, they call her Aisata. When you say Aisata or Aisha or something like that, you're still calling Aset in the spirit. The original egregore is there. That's what this colonizer didn't know. So in spirituality, it's all about the egregore. So an egregore was already formed by us for Mama Aset with all the different names, different tribes call her. So an egregore was already formed before they came. So they took the story and whitewashed Mama Aset and made her Mary, and they added their egregore. So whether you call Eru or you call Jesus or you call Mary or you call Aset, when you know the egregore you are setting the intention on, anything goes. So we like, okay, we're going to play that little game with you because we know who we are. So we were able to resist them in that way as well. So because of the bloodline we come from, we've been knowing who we are and who we were. And even more so, not only that, is when you cross over, when you go to the other side, their scent appear to you. They come and greet you. They come and serve you. They come and attend you. In addition of our état major we already have. So it's a win-win. Their scent bow to us, meaning the egregore they have created from our holy family, they all bow to us because they know who we are to them. They know we are the originals. Spirit is never confused. Let's continue.
And so, but some people say that makes us a bit less authentic, but I disagree, it's just evolution, everything evolves, Nimana komori ganga, wanye, hey, bokaye. Today, I will address a topic with many unanswered questions, and that is the different Bwiti branches. In Bwiti, we use the metaphor of the tree, etete, and its branches, mitabe, to explain our structure. The main trunk is Bwiti Disumba, from which all of the different branches and sub-branches grow. Main characteristics of Disumba are: 1, it's strictly reserved for men. Number 2, it has a strong focus on ancestor worship. And number 3, it relies on oral traditions to recount the genesis from the creation of the world to humanity today. Disumba evolved into many branches, including Bwiti Ngningone, associated with resistance against colonization, and Bwiti Mitsoko, which focuses on healing and consultation. Most people have heard about Mitsoko because it's the only Bwiti branch that was exported to the West. The main characteristics of Mitsoko are the use of pharmacopoeia, number 1, it's anti-sorcery focus, number 2, and number 3, it's initially for men, but it's now become more inclusive of women. Some of the sub-branches of Mitsoko include Myobe, Ngonde, and Sengedia. Although not specifically a branch, the Babongo pygmies and their rites are often mentioned. It is even said amongst Bwiti initiates that the Babongos are the originators of Bwiti, though this is debated within the Bwiti community. Another important branch from Disumba is Bwiti Feng, Mimweri, and that's my branch. Feng is a syncretic branch blending elements of Bieri, Disumba, and Christianity. Bieri, that I just mentioned, is the basis of Bwiti Fang, is an ancient spiritual practice based on ancestor worship and also using the hallucinogenic plant elan, not iboga, for initiations. The main characteristics of Bwiti Fang are 1. Syncretic practices. 2. Possession rituals where healers enter trance states, allowing ancestors and spirits to possess us and assist in healing. And 3. Gender inclusivity. Sub-branches of Fang include Ndea Larizanga, Ekongi, Njebe, and Ndea Kenga, amongst many others. There are many other branches and sub-branches within the Bwiti tradition.
That's very enlightening, actually. So can someone practice, for example, Bwiti Fang and Bwiti Metsoko?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, many people get initiated in different branches. You can go from one branch to the next if that's your calling. For me, I have not had this calling, so I felt called to just follow my tradition, the tradition of my family. So maybe in the future, I will meet someone, Mitsoko or Disumba, and feel, like I want to get initiated with them, but this hasn't happened yet. But yeah, people can get initiated into different branches.
So I'd like to talk about this aspect of the rituals and the ceremonies because it's very central to the Bwiti tradition. And what motivates someone to seek Bwiti initiation with Iboga?
There can be many reasons. One can be like a strong calling, because we say Iboga will call people. So if someone even knows what Iboga is, then already that is a sign that there is some sort of a calling, because probably 99% of the world has no idea what Iboga is. So if you're part of the 1% that knows even what Iboga is, so that already means there's some sort of a calling there. And then some people feel a strong pull to get initiated in Africa because there's many people who are doing ceremonies outside of Gabon, but some people will feel they need to go to the motherland, where it comes from, and get the real initiation. So that's a strong calling. Then in Gabon, people get initiated for that as well. It's a rite of passage. When they reach a certain age, then they have to go through initiation if they've been raised in the Bwiti village or family. But also initiation gets done if someone is sick. So if someone is unwell, it could be spiritually unwell, if there's maybe entity attachment, this person has, demonic attachments and things like that. The only way you can get those ties cut is through initiation, or even physical illness. So sometimes people get initiated because they have some sort of illness. And like I said, we see everything as spiritual. So all illnesses come from something is not right in the spirit world, So if they try and go hospital and things like this and nothing works, then they might go to the village and get initiated. Et est-ce que n'importe qui peut s'initier?
Oui, n'importe qui.
N'importe qui.
L'Iboga, c'est universel. C'est universel, n'importe qui. C'est pas n'importe qui. Tout ce que Dieu a créé comme homme se fait initier. C'est ça. C'est pas interdit.
Et même
celui-là ne prie pas. N'importe qui, c'est universel.
Et même le chien, parce que tu as initié le chien.
Oui. Même le chat. J'ai fait initier le chat.
Tu as donné l'Iboga au chat?
Oui.
Waouh.
Le chat qui est à la maison s'appelle la reine de la forêt.
C'est son combo. Waouh. Super, super.
Rock son combo, c'est le chien qui aboie. Et le combattant. Quand il y a la veillée, on lui donne le bois.
Waouh. Et il mange ça bien.
Il mange ça bien. Et c'est là où tu lui bois. Si un sorcier rentre dans le temple, tu sais déjà que ça, c'est un mauvais.
Bien, ça, c'est bien ça.
So, my beautiful children, you heard from the chief Nyima, the chief healer, that anything with a spirit, anyone with a spirit can get initiated. You heard of animal spirits, right? So she described how she initiated her dog. Yes, people do that. If you have a domestic animal, such as a dog, such as a cat, do you know that the wizards, the witches, and the warlock, they can pilot, they can take possession over your animal and use that animal to remote view you and use that animal to report to them what you're doing and stuff like that. They can even possess your animal to destroy you. So, in a home where you have a pet that serves a spiritual purpose, it's in your best interest to have that pet initiated. We are animists. We see the spirit in everything the Creator has created. Human have spirit. Animals have spirit. Plants have spirit. When you grab a plant to heal yourself, it's the spirit of that plant that comes and does the job. Okay? In Bwiti, we have that understanding. Let's continue.
It's interesting with the Bwiti tradition because I seem to observe from my research that it seems to be if there is some kind of suffering, then people seek some kind of remedy with Iboga. But I find with Bwiti there is really a whole concept, and I think that was very enlightening as well to know that if you're born within the the tradition, then there is a point where you're initiated or it's a whole concept. So that's very interesting because initially I associated it with suffering as a remedy of people who are having struggles or something like that. Maybe who are not part of the tradition normally.
Yeah, it's all of it, like you said as well. Yeah, it can be with some if there's suffering in someone's life. You
I
can't
might have read somewhere, I think something to do with women who are having struggles to have children or having struggles with their children. Maybe the children are not so behaving so well. Did I get that
all
right?
of it. Yeah, everything, anything. So it can be for all of that. If there's something is not flowing in your life, then initiation in Gabon that you would consider getting initiated. Because when you go into the spirit world, you will get some answers. The spirits will tell you what you're not doing right and what you need to change in your life. And then if you follow the guidance, then most of the time things, get fixed for you. But you have to follow the guidance and always be in right, have a right relationship with your spirits.
Conscience, maybe
Don't
is what I
neglect.
thought.
Pardon?
Conscience?
Yeah, have a good relationship with your spirits, with the spirits that are guiding you and help you and so on.
And how should a person prepare mentally or physically before embarking on this journey?
Yeah, the cleaner you are, the better the medicine will work. But for an initiation, you don't even need to do much because before you need to know what you're signing up for one. Because if you get initiated, you're going to the village, and in the village there's no running water. We've got a generator that's on a few hours every night, but it's in the forest. It's not a fancy retreat or anything. So you have to know what you're signing up for. For one, know that it's not an easy experience, and it's not for the culturally sensitive people. And once you're doing the initiation, we spend the ones we do we open our village a few times a year, just a couple times a year or 4 times a year to foreigners who want to get a calling to get initiated, because the rest of the year we just initiate and treat Gabonese people. We don't want it to be diluted or turned into a commercial venture, so but a lot of people have asked us, so we open our village a few times a year. And the initiations we do 1 week, but normally because people they're traveling from far, and you can do it in a week, that's fine. But normally some Gabonese people will come for months and stay in the getting initiated. And for that, for maybe like a whole month, someone will just be cleansing their body, their mind, their spirit. So that is the preparation. So they'll spend, and the foreigners that come, so for 5 days they will be also drinking plants. Everything is taken away from you, so you can't be on your phone, you can't be watching TV, all of these things. So it's all cleansing your mind, your spirit. You're just in meditation and drinking plants, plant medicines, and that's all preparing you for the iboga, So when you eat the iboga really goes to the root, really works well, and you're cleansed. Like there's nothing in you that's going to negatively impact or so that's why there isn't really much of a preparation to do. That being said, it's all about respect. So always I tell people, the cleaner you are, if you stop drinking before and, limit the kind of media you watch and things like that. Also, intentions are very, very important. So this medicine will work with your intention. So if you just come there with no intention, then it's going to be a waste of your time. It might clean you up, but you need to have clear intention. So why are you coming there? What do you need? And be clear. And a lot of people, they lie to themselves, There's things they need to change in their lives, but they're not even admitting it to themselves. So then they'll go back home and carry on doing the same bad patterns, be it taking drugs or whatever it is that they're doing. Maybe they don't want to admit to themselves that they're addicted, So they'll come, do the initiation, and then they go back home and keep on doing the drugs. But if you come and you say, no, I want to let go of this addiction, I don't want to be addicted anymore, I want to be off drugs, then iboga will be okay. Let's work with you then.
My beautiful and amazing royals of Africa, you heard it from your sister, Nima Njogo. All right. So basically, going through the path of initiation, you have to go in purity with pure intentions. Okay. If you have identified what is hurting you or hurting the bloodline, your bloodline, and you are the chosen one, the one conscious enough to notice that there's something wrong with this family, let me go and meet our ancestors for remedy. You have to go with an open heart and pure intention. You go and mind your business. Don't take somebody else's name over there. Oh, I want whatever there. No. You will die. Pretty much you will leave, you will stay there. Okay? So just identify what is wrong with either you, your kids, your family as a whole. If women are not getting married, if women are not having babies, if men are not standing, there are some family, the men are useless. The women are the one riding the whole thing. That imbalance is not normal. One of you has to go through the path of initiation and remedy that for the entire bloodline. Some families, you will notice that all the sons tend to end up in jail, okay? It's because that bloodline has been cursed with the curse of engagement, of captivity. And as a collective, a group of people who have been made slave, we always go and break those chains in the spirit realm. Because for people to enslave you physically, it's like they have found a way to enslave you spiritually. So you go and break the chains of servitude. Slavery, it's a spirit. Okay? It's a spirit. That what caused people not to appreciate what you do for them. That what caused people to just never even say thank you. So when you have that attached to you, you have to go through the means of initiation so you can break that chain, because some of us are normalizing abuse. Some of us are normalizing entrapment. Some of us who have been made slave, they think that the only relationship they can have with other people is them being a master to them. So you see, that's why you see some people around, when you leave them, you stop talking to them or you stop dating them. In their mind, they think they need to take you out. In their mind, they think you need to cease to exist just because you don't want to deal with them anymore. That's the spirit of slavery. They were made slave. So when they found themselves in a position that they have the upper hand, the spirit of slavery acts through them to make other ones slave. And it's highly destructive. So I will suggest we look closely into iboga. The ancestors are waiting for us. You have to make the decision. You want to get well. You want to cleanse your bloodline. You want to have your rightful place on earth. So as you heard your sister say, you go with a pure heart, pure intention. I'm struggling with this. Iboga, help me. Ancestors, help me. This is how you get the remedy. This is how you get the healing. Okay? So, yes, Niman Jogo, your sister Audrey will be with us. She will answer to many of your questions. I have compiled a list of approved practitioners. Those of you who want to go get initiated under my supervision, like I said in my other video, send an email, okay? You will be presented with different practitioners, and the ones your ancestor will lead you to, that's where you are going to go. Okay, my loves, we will continue this conversation. Part 4 coming up.
Thank you.